Good morning and welcome to Atlanta Photo Restorations. Yesterday afternoon, Denise, when you and I talked about what we have here, the one thing that we didn't really get a chance to do is actually look at the image itself. What I normally do is I will overlay a grid pattern on the image, and this gives me a good area that I can work each area at a time as we go through the restoration. Now the larger grids that you'll see right along in here, those are 1 inch, and then you get down into the smaller 1/4 inch sections. So you can see this is a pretty intense process when we go through this. Now, let me put this back up, and I'm just going to quickly go to a 1 inch grid and pull this out. And then what I'd like to do is I would like to start in the top left-hand corner of the photograph. And just quickly, things that we didn't get to see yesterday because we were looking at the other images, is that we mentioned about the infamous fingerprints that you can see. Here we have one that's right in this area, right along in here. And then as we come down, there's another one there. But there are some areas that you're starting to see now that the scratching that needs to be redone. I want to bring over real quickly to your grandfather's facial features, and you can see how we might want to do something in that area also. I also suggest in the top right hand corner that we have an object that's protruding from the very top, and that might be something for glaring or something of this nature, but there's a little bit of damage throughout the entire photograph. But basically I'd like to get through, and I'd like to just start with let's move all the way over to the left, back over to the left real quick. And we'll start with the young man that we're looking at right here. Now I'm going to zoom in one more time so we can get a nice facial feature here. And I'm just going to gradually go through. Now you'll see the restorations, and I might point some of the areas out that we might want to look at as we move along. You can see that I think the photographer, because when you start looking at people's eyes, you'll see they're looking to the right. And what I'm going to be looking for is just oddball things, rings, jewelry, shoes, things of that nature. And of course you're going to be picking up on the restoration some of the work that's going to have to be done. You can see as we're looking right along here, a long vertical scratch that's right along in that area, and of course it carries all the way through. Now I'm going to go back up, and we're going to look at the second young man from the left. And what I've noticed about each person are their eyes. Everyone has basically the same types of eyes, and you can see up in the corner all the restoration that now is starting to become a little bit more evident. And of course you wanted 10 copies of this. Now as we move down, the one thing that I noticed here is that he forgot to put the loop in the belt buckle on this one, and also it's the same outfit, same jacket that the gentleman next to him is wearing also. And we move down to the little baby, and that's why I think that the eyes are to the right. Excuse me, the photographer is on the right. And we just move down gradually. I don't see any rings or anything of that nature. Looks like some brand new shoes. And of course we've got some damage down here. I'm going to move back up, and then I'm going to go over to your grandmother. And you can see she was looking for some reason down and to the left. Now I would like to mention you can see some of the spotting that's starting to appear and around the top and around the side of her facial features there. Now the pearls, quite nice string of pearls, and I'd like to move down to her right hand, and you can see there's a small ring there. Now I'm going to zoom in just to get a little bit, see if we can pull this off for a little bit better. Now, I don't know if that will help you. Maybe someone in your family might have that ring, but I'm also going to, just while we've got the small size, I'm going to bring it over to her left hand, where you'll see there's another ring. You see the wedding band, and then you see a ring on her hand. And I thought that was kind of interesting. Now I'm going to zoom out for a second here. I'm going to go back to your grandmother's facial features so you can take a look at that. And then I'm going to go up to the gentleman, the tall gentleman standing up between their grandmother and your grandfather. And again, the eyes have it. Nothing really distinguished. Now there is a little pin here, and I'm going to zoom in one more time on this. I don't know if it's going to be beneficial or not, but that'll give you an idea of what that might look like. Let's come out just a little bit. But there's some type of pin that he actually added to that jacket, because if you'll notice, the jacket style is in the same style as what we have over on your other two young gentlemen right here. So we're looking at the same type of jacket. Don't see much in the hands. Now when we get up to your grandfather, you can see that the scratch carries all the way through the top and through his facial features. As we move down, happy little boy it looks like, same beautiful eyes, and you can see again we're getting back into the scratching across the facial features that we didn't pick up yesterday. Very, very muscular hands. And the little baby doesn't have much in regards to what we can look at. I don't see any rings on her fingers or anything like that. And you can pick up the scratching in the image that should be repaired. Now we're going to go over to the little girl. And there are those eyes again. And she has on a small necklace, pearl necklace, but also something I found interesting was the ring. Now I'm going to zoom in on this so that you can get a little bit better look. Now I don't know if that'll help you, and maybe someone in the family might have that ring. And something else I found kind of interesting is she was wearing some type of little armband on her hand there. So she's got a little ring on her finger. I'm going to come back and I'm going to zoom back into her facial features here. And what we'll do is we'll just move through the image real quick. You can see the kind of diagonal scratch across the front there. And an unusual pearl set where you've got looks like something in between the pearls here. That might be somewhere in the family. And we're going down, and what I found kind of interesting is that the shoes were buckled across on her foot here. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And now we're going to go up and take a look at the gentleman and the top left-hand corner, and you can see he looks like he's very determined. He's got a focus on something that I think is quite interesting. And the shirt and the tie. And we come down and we're seeing the same jacket pull across the front. Now that might be about a 1920s type of jacket. And we come down and you can see that there's a lot of scratching that we're starting to pick up over on this side of the image. You can see right in here. Carrying on down, still getting some scratching, nice shoes, and that's pretty much just about what we're looking at. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just quickly add some color, some brightness and contrast to give you a little bit better idea of once it's finished, it's going to look nice. And I'm going to have to get back with you on what you'd really like to do with this image. Thanks for your time. Take care, and look forward to seeing you sometime next week. Bye-bye now.